The crystalline amphitheater stretched before Marcus' chin like a glittering maw, its translucent walls pulsing with bioluminescent veins that cast eerie shadows across the arena floor. 50,000 alien spectators filled the tiered seats, their chittering, clicking, and harmonious hums creating a symphony of anticipation that would have driven most sentients mad with terror. Marcus stretched his shoulders and cracked his knuckles. "Ladies, gentlemen, and whatever the hell you are," he muttered to himself, grinning at the massive Vorthak announcer whose tentacled face loomed on the holographic displays. "Let's dance." The arena's atmospheric processors hummed to life, filling the combat zone with a cocktail of gases designed to accommodate the various respiratory needs of the combatants. To Marcus, it smelled like ozone and regret, not unlike his old gym back on Earth. 3 months ago, the human colony ship Persistence had been captured by the Hegemony's enforcement fleet. The aliens had been fascinated by humanity's home planet classification, Class 3, Deathworld. Most species evolved on garden worlds with stable climates, predictable weather patterns, and docile fauna. Earth, by contrast, was a nightmarish hellscape, where everything from the weather to the wildlife seemed designed to kill its inhabitants. The Hegemony scientists had been eager to study these Deathworlders in their most natural environment, mortal combat. Marcus had volunteered, not because he was particularly brave or stupid, but because someone had to, and he figured his 20 years as a mixed martial arts instructor gave him better odds than most. Besides, the winner got to choose the fate of the captured colonists. No pressure. The arena floor began to shift and reconfigure itself, creating a maze of elevated platforms, deadly drops, and environmental hazards. Lava bubbled up through vents in one section, while Arctic winds howled through another. Razor-sharp crystal formations jutted from the walls, and predatory vines with metallic thorns snaked across the ceiling. "Welcome, beings of the Hegemony," the announcer's voice boomed through universal translators. "Today we witness the ultimate trial of the legendary Deathworlder. Facing him are the finest combat specimens from across 3 sectors. The first gate hissed open, releasing a Krexhai hunter, 8 feet of chitinous death with razor mandibles and reflexes that could snatch plasma bolts from mid-air. Its 4 arms ended in serrated claws that could cut through starship hull plating. Marcus studied the creature as it skittered into the arena, all coiled muscle and predatory grace. "Ugly bastard, aren't you?" he called out cheerfully. The Krexhai responded by launching itself across the arena in a blur of motion that would have been invisible to most organic eyes. Its claws whistled through the air where Marcus's head had been a microsecond earlier. Marcus had rolled sideways, come up in a crouch, and swept the creature's legs. Physics, it turned out, worked the same way regardless of how many arms you had. The Krexhai hit the arena floor hard, and Marcus was on it before it could recover, applying a rear-naked choke. Hold adapted for a creature with an exoskeleton. The chittering from the crowd grew frantic as the feared hunter tapped out. "One down," Marcus panted, releasing the dazed alien. "Who's next?" The second gate released a Veltar shock trooper, encased in powered armor that crackled with energy, shields. These were the Hegemony's elite soldiers, trained from birth for warfare and augmented with cybernetic implants that enhanced their already formidable natural abilities. Marcus looked at the towering figure and shook his head. "Seriously? Power armor? That's cheating." The Veltar raised its plasma cannon, targeting sensors locking onto the human. But Marcus was already moving, using the arena's shifting terrain to his advantage. He leaped from platform to platform, staying ahead of the energy blasts that turned sections of the arena floor into molten slag. The crowd fell silent as they watched the tiny human, barely 6 feet tall and weighing less than 200 pounds, outmaneuver their champion with nothing but raw athleticism and tactical thinking. Marcus reached the crystal formations and began climbing, using handholds that would have been impossible for the armored trooper to follow. At the apex, he waited until the Veltar positioned itself directly below, then dropped down feet first, driving both heels into the soldier's helmet with the full force of gravity and human stubbornness. The armor cracked. The Veltar stumbled, and Marcus rode the warrior down like a surfboard, jamming his fingers into the helmet's ventilation system and triggering the emergency release. Without its armor, the Veltar was just another scared alien gasping in the arena's artificial atmosphere. "Two down," Marcus announced, wiping sweat from his forehead. "This is actually kind of fun." The final gate opened to reveal something that made even Marcus pause. The Nethys were psychic predators, beings of pure mental energy that fed on fear and despair. This one manifested as a writhing mass of shadow and tentacles, its very presence causing the other defeated combatants to whimper in terror. Marcus felt the creature's psychic assault wash over him like a tide of nightmare images. Earth burning, his friends dying, humanity extinct and forgotten. The alien was trying to paralyze him with existential dread, feeding on his terror to fuel its physical form. Instead, Marcus started laughing. The sound echoed through the silent arena, genuine, belly-deep laughter that seemed to confuse not just the Nethys but every spectator present. The psychic creature recoiled, its shadowy form flickering as if unable to process what it was encountering. "You know what your problem is?" Marcus said, still chuckling as he approached the bewildered entity. "You're trying to scare someone from a planet where the weather actively tries to murder you, where the cute fuzzy animals are venomous and where we invented extreme sports for fun." He gestured to the arena around them. This is Tuesday for a human. We don't just survive impossible odds, we live-stream them for entertainment." The Nethys tried to reform, to project new horrors, but Marcus's complete lack of appropriate fear had broken its feeding cycle. The creature began to dissipate, its psychic scream echoing through dimensions only it could access. "And 3, Marcus said, dusting off his hands. The arena fell into absolute silence. Then, slowly, a new sound began to build. Not the chittering or harmonious humming of before, but something unprecedented in hegemony history. Applause. 50,000 aliens were applauding a human. Marcus looked up at the shocked announcer and grinned. "So, about those colonists." Later, as he walked out of the arena accompanied by representatives from a dozen species eager to establish diplomatic relations with humanity, Marcus couldn't stop chuckling. The hegemony had wanted to test a Deathworlder's capabilities in combat. Instead, they'd discovered something far more terrifying. Humans didn't just survive the impossible. They enjoyed it, and they were more than happy to teach others how to laugh in the face of death. For the right price, of course. After all, even Deathworlders had to make a living. The galaxy would never be the same.